Max Baker got the first hand raised. Max from the Missouri, go ahead.
Connor, I was talking to some of your family members, and they said you were kind of a different type of person playing basketball rather than when you were playing football. And I was wondering how you would kind of describe yourself as a basketball player in high school or in middle school.
During basketball, I was more animated. I'd say I'd get a lot more frustrated at myself, and I was more emotional, I would say. I don't know why, but it was just kind of one of those things. Just in basketball, that's who I was, and then in football, I was different and just calm and poised.
Colin O'Brien, Jeff City News Tribune. Go ahead, Colin.
Hey, Connor. Thanks for doing this. Hope you're well. What kind of things have you been doing in these two open dates you guys have had to maybe prevent rust from forming or just to stay sharp at the quarterback position?
Yeah, it's just continuing to get the timing down with the receivers, get fundamentals down with Coach Drink, continuing to grow on the playbook and grow with the offense, continuing to build leadership with the offense and offensive line, getting their trust and just continuing to build relationships with everybody else and stay tight.
Drinkwitz told us today that he's been having some guys kind of cross-train in practice to make up for low numbers. Has that affected the wide receiver groups at all, either them going out or other guys coming in?
No. I mean, we've got our guys and they'll be ready to go. Just got to execute.
Dave Matter, St. Louis Post-Dispatch. Go ahead.
Hey, Connor, it's been a long time since you guys had that Florida game, but did you feel like that at all was kind of a step backwards for the offense, or just how did you feel like you guys did in that game?
I don't think it was a step backwards. I think we just didn't execute. We had chances to win the game. We had chances to score touchdowns, get points. We just didn't execute. And, I mean, if we execute those, like 5 plays, it would have been a whole different game, whole different story. So I don't think we took a step back. Obviously, there were plays in the second half when we were down that we got to fix, but I don't think we took a step backwards.
Ben Arnett, KLMU. Go ahead, Ben.
Connor, a couple of things. First, real quick, is this the longest layoff you've had in your career in between games, or have you had longer ones in your career?
Yes, between football games, yeah.
I mean, yep. When you've been the regular starter?
Yeah. I mean, in high school it was normal every week. Obviously in this first year with COVID and, yeah, as long as between games that I've had just practicing and waiting to play the next game.
And during this layoff, you mentioned you're doing a lot of different things, but is there anything in particular, especially with the receivers, that you felt like has helped you stay sharp and that has been most effective?
I would say just continue, like going back and looking at the film from the past couple of weeks and looking at what we missed, what we did wrong, and then just correcting those things in practice. Just because we knew we had time to work on those things and really focusing in on the details and with the wideouts and the quarterbacks.
Mitch 40, Power Mizzou. Go ahead, Mitch.
Connor, South Carolina announced a few opt-outs today, particularly in the secondary. Does that change anything about your game prep at all, just having different guys that have been in for most of the season back there?
No. I mean, it's really not about them. It's about us. If we execute, then we'll play well. I mean, it's really just about us. I'm not too focused on who they've got back there. I mean, we play in the SEC. Everybody's going to be good no matter who they have. So it's really just about us.
Gabe Yarman, Power Mizzou. Go ahead, Gabe.
Yeah, Connor, I know you mentioned timing, but just as an entire offense, what specific aspects of things do you think is kind of the most difficult to maintain with this much time between games?
I think it's just the physical aspect of it. I mean, we haven't hit the offensive line hasn't like blocked and had full contact in, I don't know, since the Florida game, over 15 days. So I think it's just kind of focusing in on that in practice, trying to get that situated. And I think that's the biggest thing, is just physical, receivers blocking, running backs taking hits, me taking hits. It's just haven't had it in a while, but we didn't have it in the whole 9 months until Alabama. So, I mean, it's nothing new.
Jack Sobel from the Maneater, go ahead.
Connor, you mentioned you were kind of working on developing chemistry with the receivers. What kinds of things have needed to happen for you to kind of increase your chemistry with those receivers, especially with, rotating so many of them?
I think it's just watching film with them, trying to focus in on all the details in practice, do routes on air, and 7-on-7, just kind of focusing in on all the details, just so I know what they're doing, they know what I'm doing, and it really helps with our connection.
Bennett Durando, you're up.
Hey, Connor, this might be a bit of an offbeat question, but I was curious if what you've sort of heard about the Open Doors company that you guys are going to be working with, and just if you've interacted with anyone from them yet, and just what that partnership is going to be like from the athlete end of things.
So it's our agreement we made, kind of like influencer. They're just going to help us out on the social media side of things and like personal branding, imaging, that kind of stuff.
So this is the first time I'm hearing about it. But yeah, sounds good. I'm all for building my brand and personal brand, building the Mizzou brand personally and as a team. So it's great.
I've got another one then, just sort of building off the question from earlier. When was the angriest or maybe the most emotive that you ever got during a basketball game?
I mean, I would say I got better as I got older because I got more mature. But when I was younger, I would get real mad. I don't even know. I don't know. I was just me being competitive. I was just, when things didn't go my way, I would get upset and angry, and yeah. I don't know a specific time.
Suichi Terada, Kansas City Star, go ahead.
Connor, Eli talked about this last week, but sometimes when maybe the game kind of slips away, like the Florida game, you guys kind of lose balance between the pass and the rush. I guess from your perspective, how important is just to, be able to maybe not go off script and be a little pass happy and one dimensional and everything?
I think it's super important, whether it's running the ball to set up the pass or throwing to set up the run. You got to be able to do both. And when you get behind, like we did against Florida, it's hard to run the ball just because it wastes clock. You're trying to get chunk yards, big plays down the field. So it's really important, yeah.
Max Baker, did you just go?
Yeah, I got another one if that's okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Connor, I guess when you came back here, I know you came back for the facilities in like March because like they were just able to train here. But what was sort of the hardest part about being here at that time when everyone or when a lot of people were gone, and what kind of got you through those couple months?
The hardest part was just being here alone. I mean, there's nobody really here, like any of my friends. So it was just kind of same routine every day. Wake up, go do rehab, and throw. I mean, there were some weeks where guys would be here and I would go throw with them. But it was just kind of on the mental side, just had to focus on what's important with my rehab, and still talk to my parents back home and my friends back home. And I don't know, it flew by, so I don't really remember it.
Dave Matter, go ahead, Dave.
Connor, what is it like as a player every day not really knowing if there's going to be a game at the end of the week? I mean, do you try to just ignore that stuff and everything just hinges on these test results? What's that like, every day to wake up and not necessarily know for sure?
Yeah, it's hard to not think about it just because you're trying to focus in on an opponent and prepare for an opponent. But at the same time, you don't know if you're really going to play that opponent or even play that week. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's just about trusting the coaches, trusting the game plan, sticking to your routine, watching film. I mean, it really just comes down to having a routine and sticking to it.
Okay, we're gonna finish up with the last three that are in the queue right now. Peter Ball's up first. Go ahead, Peter.
Yeah, Connor, I was curious, when you have an off week, either for something unplanned like the COVID week or a bye week, like, do you watch your next opponent live? Like, did you watch the South Carolina game as it was going on last week?
Yeah, I usually watch the games, whoever we play next, and watch it live. I mean, it's really hard to – the film we have here after is way better than what you watch on live TV, and you can get a way better look at what they're doing. So, I mean, you can see some stuff, but yeah.
Gotcha. What was kind of, I guess, the instant impressions of South Carolina's defense when you did see it for the first time?
I mean, I watched them earlier in the year. I don't know who they were playing. I mean, they're tough. They're physical. It's like physical defense. They're going to play hard. Obviously their head coach just got fired, so they're gonna play with an edge, and we just got to come out early, play fast, start fast, and yeah.
Jack Sobel, man eater, go ahead.
Connor, you guys lost 2 fumbles against Florida with the strip sack at the end and the exchange between you and Beatty. How much has ball security been a point of emphasis over the last couple weeks on your end in particular?
Yeah, I mean, every single week we focus on ball security, but knowing that the fumble with me and Beatty was a big changing point in the game. We just can't have stuff like that. I mean, the fumble at the end was the last drive, the game was over, but I still can't have that. I just got to protect it more. Just win the turnover battle every week and got a better chance to win then.
All right, and our last one will be from Lynn Harrington. Go ahead, Lynn.
All right, Connor. Last game against Florida, you guys were held scoreless in first and third quarter. How important is it for the offense to get off to a fast start against South Carolina?
Yeah, like I was saying earlier, it's super important. With them, with Coach Muschamp being gone, they're going to come out with an edge, with a chip on their shoulder, and we just got to start fast, hit them early, and I think it's super important to get up early and get a lead and continue to execute.
Okay.
Thank
you. Connor. Thank you very much.
Yep.